Hello, so welcome to part 12. This is now a considerable amount of days after I did the first videos. No one's watched a lot of them because I haven't named them, I haven't optimized them for searching, I haven't really done anything with the channel to make it seem... And my channel isn't, I haven't been running it for long enough, but I had a channel before. But anyway, you know, I want to make it a complete training video because I've always kind of wanted to do that, like a complete course, you know, and I know that somewhere along the line, someone's going to stumble into this course, and obviously you'll get this far. So you'll get to this part, mate. You might watch all the, you know, see some value, and then get all the way to, you know, from basically being a complete beginner, you know, not really knowing anything, and now you've had a good, you know, 4 or 5 hours of practical knowledge that you can start from, hopefully, you know, start strumming that guitar. Obviously, there's loads of stuff that you're not going to know. Little things here and there. But, at the end of the day, when you sit down to trade, once you've got a certain threshold of knowledge, that's it, basically. You can get to a threshold with trading of knowledge where you don't need any more. And that's the point. That's an exciting point to make to you. Because basically then you can consistently make money, you know, and that is the bottom line. So that's the threshold. And even you would get to a threshold of knowledge with trading, and you would be of a certain vitality and a certain sterility, you know, virility of mind, you know, suppleness of thought, and, you know, have more kind of genius in you at a younger age. So, not really, you know, I'm not talking completely. Well, you know, I'm basically coming towards 40, and, you know, I'm 40, whatever. You know, I look like an old man. You know, the guys at work, they smile at me like I'm a little baby child. You know, that just doesn't know any better. You know, but the thing is that your mind gets a bit more acute. You know, because you've just been through it, seen it a million billion times. You just know how to react to stuff which might, you know, you've got this far basically, so that you know that people's social things don't really carry as much weight because you've just been through it, you know, a million times. And someone that's 20, 25, well, you know, I was 25, 20, not that long ago, only 15 years ago. It's not very long, really. But obviously, you know, when I was younger, I thought 40 is old, you know, and it is old. But I would say 53 is getting on. Not even getting on, but 53 is kind of the basically after you're about 60, you don't really want to be thinking yourself too amazing, you know. But you can still live an amazing, beautiful life when you're that old. But you can't think of yourself as you know, you can't have too much belief in yourself. You can be a fantasist, you know. You can fantasize all you want, but you can't really be taken as seriously as someone just that 10, 15 years younger, or just 5 years younger, you know. Or even when you're 60, you know, scientific minds and stuff, they'll still go on, you know, they'll still go through their work. And, you know, obviously another bit of wisdom is that wisdom and old age go together, you know, and only when you're old will you really become kind of wise, you know. So, but we're talking genius here, and that's where I am. That's where I am. So what I want to do, look at that. I mean, that is awesome, isn't it? Look at the way that's completely mad. That's the maddest. You know, look at the candles. Look how they're all red and then they're all green. You know, it doesn't look random, does it? If it was a random line, it would just be more squiggly. You know, this, you could have got this on the way down, I reckon. This looks like a stop you could have got on the way down. Let's have a look. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to find one now. So I don't want to do hindsight stuff. I want to actually find a trade. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look through and I'm going to see if I can find one. G's coming down to a level there. It looks like it might be springing up. It looks like you could take it now, but it might go down to 630. This is the problem, you know. You'll see something like that, and you go, "Oh, quick, let's got this pattern going up, still like that." And then you go in, and it'll just go down to 630. You know, you got to look at the whole thing. You can't get too excited, you know. And especially this, it looks like it might come down because if you look at that trend, if it shot up now, it would really have to be shooting up. But I haven't actually even looked at the main markets today. So I haven't got money in my brokerage account yet. So I'm sitting on my hands for about another week, which is very frustrating. But I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that I've got to wait another week before I actually have real money again. Because I've always traded with real money, you know. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So we've got craziness in the market. It looks like it's, you know, pressing more towards the upside, but it's still volatile, you know. You know, on the left there, we're seeing some big moves up with these individual stocks. So obviously, you know, it's a real exciting time in the market at the moment. I mean, there's no question about it, because when you looked at this stuff, these tickers, these top, you know, percentage gainers, when you looked at them, obviously it's going to be the small stocks at the most, because they make the biggest percent gains. But a few weeks ago, there was nothing there. There was nothing gaining. They were all just going down. There was no main big tickers going up. It was really bad looking at it. You know, it's just insane. And all of these had maxed out red as well. You couldn't get any more red. It basically got, because if it goes over 3%, you see it's like 0.3%, and it changes a bit of colour. You know, plus 4.76%, it goes really green, you know. If it's over 3%, that's it maxes out on the colour. So I think they should update with that graph a bit. So I think that, you know, the more they should have like a 6% and a 10%. and then it can go black, you know, instead of just going red and just being a blanket of red, it can start going black and really getting cancerous, you know. So obviously, you know, that's my 2 cents thrown in there with a bit of programming. But this is a great screener. So what I'm looking at now is, that's the main markets. Let's have a look at the SPY, see where we are. It's got to be done. These markets have got to be in front of you when you're trading. You can't kid yourself. You know, this is the big daddy. This is the big whale, and you're just a little fish, you know. So you've got to be looking at what this big whale's doing. It's kind of created this kind of little dancing spree of candles there. It looks high up. It looks like it could drop. You know, it looks like it could come down to 260 in a second, you know. So I'd say it's pretty tentative up there. I'd say it's pretty high. But, you know, it's staying up there. Look, I mean, I reckon it looks like it could drop. You know, it looks like it could drop. But it might not. But it does look pretty droppy-like. But you want to know what's going on with the main stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, Trump is acting completely mentally, and even the Republican journalists are starting to talk back to his demonic, dictatorial, you know, tyrant madness, which has just exposed, you know, a lot of stuff. But it's hard to know. I think it's definitely a market watch, you know, looking at the news and seeing what's going on. Well, let's look at this news on Finviz here. I want to know a bit more. I want a bit more information than I've got there. So I know it looks like it could drop. Let's have a look at this. Spain doubles daily coronavirus test, and well, this is an important thing, you know. This is an important news piece for this whole play that we're trying to make money out of. Spain doubles daily coronavirus test and defends counting method. Cases in Africa are rising. Spain doubles daily coronavirus tests and defends counting method. So they're talking about testing there in Spain. Stock market live updates. S&P 500 rebounds, shakes off job losses. I mean, that is saying that we're rebounding. tech leads a comeback, but obviously looking at that chart, technically, in inverted commas, it looks like there could be a drop. You know, I'd be worried. I'd be tentative because but that's a bit of news there. Reporters grounded by pandemic lose that window into the campaign. The US has no money left in the emergency program for small businesses. Now what? You know, that's quite a kind of hefty bit of news going on there. We're only going to give you so much money, fend for yourselves, you know. It's a pretty harsh message there. Dow Industrials drop after jobless claims hold near record highs. Dow Industrials drop after jobless claims hold near record highs. So there we go. A drop in the Dow is not good. You know, I heard that the bonds are the most important thing. The lending, the bonds. But I don't understand that yet because I'm just a small puppy trading equities. Starbucks said it will gradually start opening a significant number of units. So there we go. Look, businesses are beginning to open and people need to work. What they're all going to do, they're just going to start cannibalising each other in the street. They're not going to do that. They're just going to go back to work. You know, they're all just going to start working and wearing masks, you know, and looking like they're doing essential work, you know, because what is all this this law, you know, what is it? It's very arbitrary. There's no specificity to it, you know. What counts as necessary? Well, I was thinking today, I was driving down the road and in the guidelines it wasn't necessary, but the thing is it's necessary because what am I supposed to do? Just sit in a corner and just perish, you know? Well, to be fair, for me it's different because I'm basically homeless anyway. I don't live in a house. So I don't have a home to go to. I'm homeless, but I live in my car. So what am I supposed to do, you know? I need to... I've been alright, to be fair. I was a bit paranoid to start off with, but where I just sit around all day in my car and I'm miles away from anybody anyway, they're not really after me. They've got other stuff that they're doing, the police, you know, and I knew that to start off with. I knew that if I just kept away and just kept hidden, you know, and just parking and sleeping, you know, being diligent about where I park up to sleep, because I could get a flat, you know. People are like, oh, you're homeless, or, you know, taking pity on me. But the thing is that I could quite easily get a flat. It's just I don't want to spend the money. I'm too much of a stingy capitalist, you know, and I don't want to work. So I don't like working hard. And that's all it is. It's just the fact that I get so much money because I don't pay any rent or any bills, you know. And it's very easy for me to live in my car, but I mean it's getting a bit more difficult because all the leisure centres are closed and I need to have a shower. So today I had to go back to the New Forest and use a bucket on a river and wash down near a river. It was a bit Tarzan-y, but it wasn't really because I'm very much civilised, you know. I'm a very civilised person and I'm working on my civility. But anyway, I'm trying to keep myself in check, you know. And I've taken a few measures to do this, which is basically severing connections I have at work with random people that live in the area. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but I work at a takeaway. I'm parking around the back. I've been parking around the back since the shutdown because I didn't have the correct insurance on my car to deliver. So I didn't want to just advertise myself parked out in front of the restaurant. So I had to start going around the back, and then all these guys just start talking like there's this. It's like a youth club back there. It's just so uncivilized. It's so ridiculous, you know. This mental guy who lives on the corner who looks like he's murdered people or something and just laughs all the time because no one knows what he's actually done and he doesn't, you know. It's just horrible, you know. It's just horrible, and the way people treat each other is just, you know, I don't want to be any part of it. I'd rather they just depressed. I'd rather not know them, and they just, you know, and I can just sit in my car outside the front now, and I don't have to put up with it, you know. So that's very much a plus thing. So anyway, ties in with my trading. This whole thing, really, you know. I want the time in the day. I want to be on my own all day. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I want to be on my own doing stuff, you know, organising myself. So anyway, this is so important to me. You can see how important this would be to somebody in my position, you know. Actually making a bit of money, living in a car. I mean, obviously, if I started making money trading, you know, I'm making proper money. I mean, think of the contrast between my life now and, you know, what it would be like if suddenly I had just had a load of money from trading, you know, and I can see it. It's a 1, 2, 3, isn't it? It's like, you know, you order a takeaway off an app that you've got in your hand, and suddenly it turns up at your door, and it does like clockwork. But for some reason, I don't believe it. I don't believe that when I open that app and put these numbers on a little card that I own into a, you know, a thing that I'm holding in my hand, that the pizza's going to come to the door. And that's a metaphor for me saying, I don't believe that if I trade well every day and trade consistently, and I don't believe that I actually get the money. I just don't believe it. There's something in me that just doesn't believe it. And I even asked my broker. My broker said to me, look, we'll give you your money, you know. Because I shared that concern, not in the direct way, but in some way I did share that concern with them. And I remember them distinctly saying to me, we'll give you your money, you know. And I've had to know how a broker works. So all the stuff I've been telling you about how a broker works makes a difference, because then you know that even though you're going to these discount brokers and you feel like, well, why are they just going to just start giving you money if you're good at trading? You know, it doesn't really make any sense, does it? But obviously they do make money, and they don't, you know, that's part of their contingency, you making money. And the other thing is, with these CFD brokers, you know, Anton Kreil talks about CFD brokers and how they were banned in the US, but they're good. Because basically, if you start making money trading CFDs, the broker switches over and starts actually buying or shorting the shares that you trade. You know, so they start making money on their commissions. And even Anton Kreil, he says that in his presentation, but he's just so you know, he's so definite and right about everything, you know. And it's just, yeah, he's got loads of money, but what has happened? What has been his real monetary journey, and has it really been that amazing? I probably don't think it is. I mean, he's saying he's got money, but you can imagine that there's someone that has seen that on YouTube that actually does have, you know, knows that they have about, you know, hundreds times more than Anton Kreil has. Anyway, I'm going to finish this video because I've got a bit of work. But I'll finish off with the charting stuff another time.